Let's talk a little more about wireframing. Wireframing lets us get a basic idea of the layout for any website or application. We create wireframes mainly to plan how the website's content will be displayed as well. So basically, we try to lay out the entire design, right? That's the idea behind a wireframe. It's like a blueprint. So if you want to compare a wireframe to something, a blueprint is a good example. Like if you want to build a house, you can't just go ahead and build it. You need to plan and you need to do the designing and everything else first. So you can compare wireframes to blueprints, right? And there are different types of wireframes. You have low fidelity, high fidelity, and even extreme fidelity wireframes. That's when it starts to become more like a prototype, right? So you move from a wireframe to a prototype, and there can be different levels in between. All right, so a prototype is basically, it works like the layout design for how a real website would look. So your prototype might look like this, right? It could have all the icons, typography, colors, images, and everything else. Your wireframe will have any of these. Now again, you move from a wireframe to a prototype, right? All right. I wanted to give you guys an example of Netflix user testing. So Netflix is a website that really concentrates or focuses on user testing. Now, I won't go into too much detail about Netflix because I also want to talk to you guys about UI. All right, so this is what they do. They generally try to do A/B testing. You can watch some videos on this. Netflix talks about how they use A/B testing. It's a very interesting video. I definitely recommend it. As a user experience designer, you need to learn from your peers. That's what I meant by copying. So go ahead and always keep up with what's happening in the industry, right? You need to know what methods people are using and how they're doing it, right? So basically what they did was come up with multiple designs, and with these multiple designs, they wanted to see which one would actually work. So what did they do? They did something called A/B testing. A/B testing is basically where you have one control experience and multiple variations of it. The control experience is what you have by default. It's something that they already had in place. And then they created variations of that, like they changed it and made new designs. So they asked users to test both these variations and the control experience. In a lot of cases, what happened was that the control experience actually won. Even though they wanted new designs and created new variations, users didn't like them that much. Users generally prefer to use the control experience. So even from that, you can see that maybe if the new direction you're taking isn't, maybe the best direction, maybe the control experience you already have, the original one, is actually the best, right? So, product development. In product development, you usually run a series of experiments. So that was the whole point of this, where I'm telling you that you need to have multiple series of experiments, and only by running multiple experiments while keeping the user and business processes in mind will you end up with a stronger design, all right? So here are some of the UX tools that are used. Like you have Adobe XD, you have Sketch, you have Figma, you have Photoshop, and you have InVision. Now these can vary from company to company. You can create your wireframes and prototypes wherever you want. Generally, people use these kinds of tools because they allow for better collaboration or enable faster wireframing. So wireframing is something you don't want to spend a lot of time on. Obviously, you want to understand how you're going to do it, but you don't need to spend a lot of time making those little lines. Or add some details and all that, you don't need to do that. You want to make a wireframe file very quickly, right? So these are some of the tools you can use. Now even here, I can go ahead and add pictures and everything, turn it into a prototype, and let me just show you guys. So I take this, if I go to prototype, I can take this and attach it to this thing, right? That means if I select this particular bar, it'll take me to the next page. So if I play this, you can see the prototyping in action. It's playing the prototype for me. So if I scroll, this is my website, right? Let me just full screen this. So this is my website, right? And if I select over here, it'll take me to another website. Well, this is the same thing. Just an example. So a prototype is basically where you can show the functionality of everything, right? And you show the colors and everything, high fidelity versus low fidelity, okay? Just keep that distinction in mind between wireframes and prototypes. This is not a prototype. This is a wireframe. I just showed you that connection thing, okay? All right, let me come back. All these are the tools you can use. InVision is a good tool. I like that. Figma, again, is awesome. It's a browser-based tool. That's what turned me off. I really am not interested in. I don't like browser-based tools because of my past experience. So that's on me. Definitely, different people will have different kinds of experiences, and you might like browser-based tools. So you might be into that. Or maybe in the future, I might be forced to start using Figma. Who knows, right? It can always change. Life is like a changing thing. You can see Figma. You go to the Figma website, and you can see how their animations are coming together. See, this is nice and all. It looks really good. And you can see what they're trying to show. They're trying to show 4 mouse pointers. So right here, you're trying to show you that the main thing is where teams design together. That's part of the user experience where I immediately understand without any issues what this tool is about. With there are mouse pointers coming in, and it tells me that this is a collaboration design tool, right? Okay, now let me come back. Let me start talking about the best tool of all, pen and paper. So not exactly a notebook, but pen and paper are very important. You need to have a notebook with you as a user experience developer or a UI developer, even as a UI developer. You need a notebook. I would suggest that whatever you're doing, even if you're coding or doing data science or whatever, have a notebook and pen with you, because that's the fastest way to make wireframes and designs and jot down ideas. That's important, right? So pen and paper are very important. Now let me give you guys an example of wireframing IPL live websites. So in that, I made up some rough designs over here. These are the rough designs I made in my notebook. You guys can see that old classmate date and page over here. And over here, you can see the design I made where I put in all the wireframing. I did it by hand, where I put the scorecard, the landing page. I put in some ideas like, what is the user looking for? That's what I wrote over here. IPL stuff, IPL match, player details, IPL points table, previous scorecard, the match itself, highlights, and news. So those are the ideas that were jotted down. And this is the wireframe I created. And you guys can see this is the second page. So I made all of this in like 5 to 10 minutes. It didn't even take me that long. Actually, it took me even less time. You could design and write all of this down in just a minute. So this is, again, important for brainstorming. So when you're doing this online, digitally, that's important too, because then you can share it with others. And it looks kind of good. This is the lowest form of wireframing fidelity, the lowest level, where it doesn't look good at all. But it's like a sketchbook where you jot down your ideas. If you guys know about the animation process, whenever you're animating, right, the whole process starts even before you add any color. Or if you're making movies, you do, what's it called? I'm forgetting the word for it, but it's called sketching. Or no, it's not storyboarding. That's right, it's storyboarding. Storyboarding is really important in movies and animation, where you storyboard everything, where you show people, where you have a plan for how you'll do it in the end. Like if you're animating a really big scene, or you're gonna film a really big scene, you wanna know what the shots are gonna look like. So you take a pen and you take a pencil, you take a pencil and you take a paper and you design or draw how your actors are gonna be or how your characters are gonna look, right? That's your wireframing. So in the same way, wireframing is like this, right? Where you jot it down, you jot your ideas down, you make rough sketches. All right, so when it comes to UI tools, there are a lot of different options. You have something like Adobe Illustrator where you can create logos, design icons, and basically do anything you want. You know, for graphic design, you can use GIMP. Now, GIMP is a free tool, it's open source, so you really don't have to pay for it. Now, it's not open source, but it's free. You don't have to pay for it at all. So a lot of people prefer GIMP because Adobe is kind of expensive. If you don't work for a company, you have to pay the subscription for yourself. So that's always the case, right? And Adobe also has something called Adobe Colors, which basically gives you a variety of color combinations and different colors that you can use. So that's also important. Color theory is, again, important for UI user interface because certain colors are very perceptible. Like if I put a very red color here, it creates a certain mood for you guys. If I put a blue color, it gives you a different mood, right? If I put a green color, it gives you a certain experience. So that's also part of the whole thing. And InVision, again, can also be used for user interface. All right, so the best tool of them all, again, is pen and paper. Pen and paper are the best tools to use because they let you think quickly and make quick designs. So even for UI/UX, for a UI developer or UI designer, you need pen and paper, right? So that's, again, my opinion, that you need to have pen and paper, especially in these kinds of situations. So if you aspire to be a UX/UI developer, I would recommend going and buying a notebook or just use any notebook. No need to buy any specific notebook for that, okay? Just get any notebook, an old notebook, whatever you have, just use that, okay?
If you enjoyed this video, you can enroll in Great Learning Academy for free. Choose from hundreds of courses across multiple domains and earn a certificate of completion along the way. And if you want to take it a step further, you can try Great Learning Academy Pro Plus with a free trial. It provides access to additional premium courses with more advanced content from distinguished faculty, along with features like guided projects, a resume builder, and mock interviews to make your learning journey even richer. Link is in the description.